Do you want to respond to President Biden being diagnosed with cancer? Are you going to call your predecessor?
I think it's very sad, actually. I'm surprised that it wasn't, the public wasn't notified a long time ago, because to get to stage 9, that's a long time. I just had my physical. You saw that. You saw the results of that particular test. I think that test is standard to pretty much anybody getting a physical, good physical. We had the doctors at the White House and over at Walter Reed, which is a fantastic hospital, do it. I did a very complete physical, including cognitive tests. I'm proud to announce I aced it. Got them all. I got them all right. You proud of me? Yes. Your husband would be proud of me for getting them all right. It's a little risk. If I didn't get them all right, these people would be after me. It would be not a good situation. But I think, frankly, anybody running for president should take a cognitive test. They say it's unconstitutional, but I would say in that particular case, having a cognitive test wouldn't be so bad. But when you take tests, medical, as a male, that test is very standard. I don't know if it's given to everybody, but it's given just about. And it takes a long time to get to that situation. Now, I think, to get to a stage 9, I think that if you take a look, it's the same doctor that said that Joe was cognitively fine. There was nothing wrong with him. Well, he said, if it's the same doctor, he said there was nothing wrong there, and that's being proven to be a sad situation.
Is the president okay with this bill adding to the deficit?
This bill does not add to the deficit. In fact, according to the Council of Economic Advisors, this bill will save $1.6 trillion. And the president absolutely understands and hears the concerns of fiscal conservatives and of Americans who want to get our fiscal house in order. That's what the intention of this bill is. There's $1.6 trillion worth of savings in this bill. That's the largest savings for any legislation that has ever passed Capitol Hill in our nation's history. The next bill that even comes close was $800 billion. That's less than half of the savings that we see in the One Big Beautiful Bill. And so the goal of this bill is to produce economic growth, to cut taxes, and to get our fiscal house in order. And this is the right step in the right direction towards doing that.
We wish him the absolute best. Greg, is it fair for some in the media, including David Axelrod, now to be saying that we should set aside any talk about the cognitive cover-up during his presidency as he battles this cancer?
When they say something like that, you have to believe that that's the reason why they're breaking the news now. So you do mute and you do pause. The timing is telling you that this cancer is being used as a tool to deflect from outrage to sympathy. But get this, normal human beings, we can have both. We can feel sad for somebody who has cancer. Like Harold said, we all know people intimately who have cancer, who are dying from cancer, and who will die of cancer. So we can feel sad, but that's not going to infringe on the space in my brain that is reserved and dedicated to this cover-up of his incapacitation. So you're not going to get a mute or a pause from me, but nice try. The
prostate cancer diagnosis is the latest in what has been a lifetime of challenges and potentially devastating events, and to a great extent overcome. It's one of the things that so many of his fans love about him, this idea that no matter what life throws at him, he can get back up.
Yes, if you look at the long arc of Biden's political and public life, it is peppered with tragic moments throughout. But his experience with loss has allowed him to connect with people one-on-one over that. But it's also led to a lot of resilience. One common word that so many of his allies pointed to after this diagnosis was they described him as a fighter. If you think back to when he was just 29 years old, he lost his wife and baby daughter in that car accident. He then suffered 2 brain aneurysms in 1988. And then in 2015, while he was vice president, his own son, Beau Biden, was diagnosed with brain cancer and passed away. In fact, Biden's own cancer diagnosis this week was 2 weeks before the family was set to mark the 10-year anniversary of Beau's passing. But then while he was in office, he endured the very public struggles that his son Hunter had faced with drug addiction. And Biden's own exit from political life had really been marred in tragic ways as well. He had decided to seek a second term. Those chances were really evaporated on that debate stage against Donald Trump, and ultimately he decided to exit the race as there were limitations of his age were on display for many to see. But really, for Biden, one thing that they've his allies always point to is that he has turned his grief, his pain into purpose. One way that he did that after Beau Biden's passing was really working to try to invigorate research to end cancer. He launched the Cancer Moonshot. And back in August, when they had rolled out some additional funding for this program, Biden actually said families touched by cancer are in a race against time. And that's now something that the Biden family is facing themselves as they're evaluating what his treatment options might be.
You believe it is likely, if this prostate cancer has spread to the bone, that he could have had it for up to a decade, but certainly it's likely. Would it be fair to say it's likely to have had this for at least several years?
Oh, more than several years. You don't get prostate cancer.
So again, I just want to stop you. So this is not speculation. If you have prostate cancer that is spread to the bone, then he's most certainly, you were saying, had it when he was president of the United States.
Oh, yeah. He did not develop it in the last 100, 200 days. He had it while he was president. He probably had it at the start of his presidency in 2021. Yes, that I don't think there's any disagreement about that.
And I'm just curious again, if your doctor to a president of the United States that is a male, that is an older man, would a prostate test, and again, we're just talking about a PSA screening, a blood test that you could do along with all the other blood tests. It's not even that it would be intrusive. Would this not be one of the first tests that you would conduct as a White House doctor?
If you're a White House doctor in this situation, I think you would certainly discuss it with the president and talk about the pros and cons. I think if you then ask, well, if President Biden says, well, if I'm your father, which patients often do, you know, what would you recommend? I think the fact is that most White House doctors would recommend getting the test. And again, the evidence is, look at President Obama, President Bush, younger than President Biden, and they both got the test.
Today we also remember 3 remarkable heroes who will become the medal's first ever recipients. It's a big honor. Corporal Luis Piez Jr., Deputy Sheriff Ralph Butch Waller Jr., and Deputy Sheriff Ignacio Dan Diaz. And thank you very much. You're represented by family members who are, I was there with them. That was devastation. They were devastated. We're profoundly grateful to be joined by their loved ones. Corporal Piez's former wife, Doris. Thank you, Doris, for being with us. Thank you very much. Thank you. And his son, Cameron, good-looking son, too. Deputy Waller's wife, Denise. Thank you, Denise, very much. And Deputy Diaz's daughter, Alexandria. Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to thank you all, and the 3 officers we recognize today were close friends. They were really close friends and colleagues, and together they dedicated their lives to protecting the people of Palm Beach County and well beyond. And they were beloved by everyone and respected by all, really, really top-of-the-line people. Countless times when I was in Florida, they proudly saved. And they saved a lot of lives. They were going around saving a lot of lives. Their reputation was incredible. They served in motorcades for presidents, called presidential motorcades, a very dangerous job, actually. And I was deeply honored to attend their memorial service last year. In a horrific accident in November, the 3 officers were working to restart one of their motorcycles on the shoulder of a road when they were struck by a SUV, struck dead center, and all 3 perished from their injuries. Essentially, they perished immediately. This was a terrible tragedy. It shook the entire Palm Beach community like very, very few events I've ever seen. All of Florida mourned their loss, and today our entire nation joins in honoring these 3 incredible patriots taken from us much too soon, much, much too soon. To Doris, Cameron, Denise, Alexandria, and to all of those who love these brave men, we are deeply sorry for your loss and eternally grateful for their sacrifice, their great, great sacrifice, just respected by everybody. We'll never forget their legacy, and we will never forget the debt we owe all of these great law enforcement heroes who have given their lives to keep our community safe and make America strong again. We have so many unbelievable people in the police department and other departments, first responders, firemen, a lot of brave, incredible people.
Welcome to The Lead. I'm Jake Tapper, and we're going to start today with our health lead and the tragic news of former President Joe Biden's prostate cancer diagnosis. Here's what we know. Last Monday, the New York Times was the first to report that President Biden visited a Philadelphia hospital the previous Friday, where, quote, a small nodule was discovered on his prostate that required, quote, further evaluation. A Biden spokesperson confirmed most of that to CNN, but would not elaborate on when or where the physical examination or future evaluation was conducted. Biden is 82. He's kept a relatively low profile since leaving office in January. Now, yesterday afternoon, Biden's personal office revealed that a prostate nodule was found after the former president experienced increasing urinary symptoms. The statement continues that last Friday, Biden was diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer that has spread to his bones. The statement goes on to say that while this represents a more aggressive form of the disease, the cancer appears to be hormone sensitive, which allows for effective management. CNN is told that Biden's treatment options include hormone therapy as well as chemotherapy and radiation. And obviously everybody here at CNN is sending out our thoughts and prayers and best wishes to the former First Family. Today, Biden posted a picture of himself, his wife, and a family cat with the message, "Cancer touches us all. Like so many of you, Jill and I have learned that we are strongest in the broken places. Thank you for lifting us up with love and support." And as I said, the well wishes came quickly from national and world leaders, including Sunday on Truth Social, with President Trump posting, quote, "Melania and I are saddened to hear about Joe Biden's recent medical diagnosis. We extend our warmest and best wishes to Jill and the family, and we wish Joe a fast and successful recovery," unquote. Our coverage.
Today we also remember 3 remarkable heroes who will become the medal's first ever recipients. It's a big honor. Corporal Luis Piez Jr., Deputy Sheriff Ralph Butch Waller Jr., and Deputy Sheriff Ignacio Dan Diaz. And thank you very much. Represented by family members who are, I was there with them. That was devastation. They were devastated. We're profoundly grateful to be joined by their loved ones. Corporal Piez's former wife, Doris. Thank you, Doris, for being with us. Thank you very much. Thank you. And his son, Cameron, good-looking son, too. Deputy Waller's wife, Denise. Thank you, Denise, very much. And Deputy Diaz's daughter, Alexandria. Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to thank you all, and the 3 officers we recognize today were close friends. They were really close friends and colleagues, and together they dedicated their lives to protecting the people of Palm Beach County and well beyond. And they were beloved by everyone and respected by all. Really, really top-of-the-line people. Countless times when I was in Florida, they proudly saved, and they saved a lot of lives. They were going around saving a lot of lives. Their reputation was incredible. They served in motorcades for presidents, called presidential motorcades. A very dangerous job, actually, and I was deeply honored to attend their memorial service last year. In a horrific accident in November, the 3 officers were working to restart one of their motorcycles on the shoulder of the road when they were struck by a SUV, struck dead center, and all 3 perished from their injuries. Essentially, they perished immediately. This was a terrible tragedy. It shook the entire Palm Beach community like very, very few events I've ever seen. All of Florida mourned their loss, and today our entire nation joins in honoring these 3 incredible patriots taken from us much too soon, much, much too soon. To Doris, Cameron, Denise, Alexandria, to all of those who love these brave men, we are deeply sorry for your loss and eternally grateful for their sacrifice, their great, great sacrifice.